What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Sean.
Hey, this your girl Quita.
And we the Island Squad. Yeah, bang.
What's up, guys?
We got a little man on the floor here playing with his tizzles.
Feeling like a new today. The girl got her hair curly. Hello.
Feeling like a new today. Your boy got the cap off. Hello.
As it should be.
It's hot. So, anyways, this video that we're bringing you guys today is a story time about how we went from being engaged to being married. Engaged to being married. That was a whole bunch of whoa going on. Yeah.
So, before we get into it, make sure y'all like the video, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to the Island Squad.
Come on, man. Y'all already know.
You gonna do that every video?
Y'all do it for us.
We gotta eat on. Go.
Nah, turn it up. I think I turned it up.
I don't think you did. It's hot in here, y'all.
I saw it.
Let's do so. Or these candles. Anywho,
Then I'm biggity back.
let's get into it.
Alright, so boom. We first got engaged. How it all happened was it's this place called Town Center that we used to always go. Before we had kids, any big responsibilities, just me and her used to go to Town Center like to get away from the different households we was living in.
Yep.
As far as I was living with my mom, my dad, and she was living with her mom and her siblings. So we did a lot to get away from all that, to spend time with each other.
Yes,
So we used to
it
go to
is.
Town Center all the time.
And we would just go out there to like walk around and
Not to really even do nothing, just to get away.
Just to get away.
So that's the spot I picked to actually propose to her. He wanted to get back to his toys.
The fire truck.
So how it all went down was we ain't got a room, you know what I'm saying, to spend time with each other. And I actually had got the ring. I had it on layaway because it was a lot. But I actually got it for still because where I go at.
Green light.
Ooh.
Let's go.
sorry guys.
Alright, so
Green light.
I got the ring for a good price, but it was still, it cost a lot. But I put it on layaway so I could make payments on it. So when the time come, I can already have the ring ready. So boom, we went to Olive Garden to eat. You know what I'm saying? She had no idea.
Backtrack. We also got a hotel.
I said that.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I said we went and got a room.
Oh yeah, we got a room at the Loft.
So
I didn't
forward
hear
track.
that.
Because I already established it. So- Anyways, we went to Olive Garden. You know what I'm saying? It was pretty much. Matter of fact, it was our anniversary.
It was.
It was our anniversary. So she initially thinking we was getting a room for our anniversary and going to eat for our anniversary, but I had a little twist. And my twist was to propose to her. So when Olive Garden we ate, so I was like, let's go to Town Center and walk around. So she was like, he keep throwing his toy over there. So she was like, okay. So we went to Town Center, and it was the spot that we always used to go sit at. It was this little statue. I think it was a statue of a couple. Either a couple or an old man. Was it a couple or was it an old man?
It was the old.
I think it was a couple, but it was a statue. I can't remember if it was a couple or just an old man. They used to always go there and sit down after we walk around. So we walked around and then we went over there and sat down. So when we sat down, that's when I actually turned to her and I was just telling her how I felt about her. But at the same time, she still couldn't tell if I was gonna propose to her because again, it was our anniversary. And I think at that time, this boy.
Give him a. Come here, make your debut.
At that time, we was together for 2 years. So I turned to her and told her how I felt about her. And then boom, I dropped down on that knee. When I dropped down on that knee, she knew what time it was. I was nervous, of course. Not because I was scared, it was just you actually proposing to somebody and telling them like I want to spend the rest of my life with you, blase blase, and then I open up that box and the diamonds was hitting like, and of course she said yes.
Yes, I did. I said yes. He was my baby. Well, he still is my baby, and I wanted to be his fiance. I wanted us to build a family together and stuff. So I was ready. I did not have no idea what was going on. And I wasn't really feeling good that day anyway. Like, I wasn't feeling good. But I still just had no clue. When we went out to eat and we went to our, went out town center and stuff, I had no idea what was going on. So when he actually did it, when he actually got on his knee and asked me to marry him, it was just like, oh. And what's crazy is that I didn't even have any emotion until we went back to the hotel room. Like, I didn't cry or anything, like, when he initially proposed. So it really hit me once we got back to the hotel room. But I was in shock. Like I said, I wasn't expecting it. But the way he did it was special because it was at a place that we normally would always go. So it just made it that much special.
Yep. I was like,
So we was engaged for about, 2 years?
Yeah. So we was engaged for about 2 years. That was right around the time we had our first child. But
Sky, yeah.
after we had Sky, our relationship was beginning to come a little rocky, only because we was dealing with her with the postpartum, and being that it was our first child, we was trying to get the hang of how to be first time parents, and it was kind of pushing me and her away from each other. And around that time, we actually broken up.
Yeah.
So we was broken up. I want to say we was broken up for a year. If not a year, it was 6 months to a year. It was around that time. But we was still, of course, around each other because of our daughter at the time. And you know what I'm saying? We was go out as a family, go out to eat.
Mm-hmm.
We would still spend time with each other. You know what I'm saying? I have Sky. She'll come get her. She'll come spend the night. And then she'll even come on the weekends and stay. Then the weekends turn into Monday, then it turns to Tuesday, and then it turns to Wednesday. And then next thing you know, I was like, we might as well get back together because you always over here. But it was not like I didn't mind her being over here because I wanted us to get back together. But I wanted us to be both on the right track before we got back together.
Right.
So we got back together. And we was together probably for a couple of months. And we was like, why don't we just get married? It wasn't like, let's get married because we just want to get married. We wanted to get married because us being away from each other made us realize how much we really love each other and how much we really want that family bond with our kids, or at the time child, because I didn't want my daughter growing up without her father being with her mother. I didn't want to be that type of person that my kids have a stepmom or a stepdad. I didn't want that. I wanted my kids to have their mom and their dad, and I wanted us to be a whole family, no step, nothing, just mom and dad.
Yeah.
So we got married. We didn't get married like we wanted to.
Yeah, we didn't have that picture perfect wedding that we wanted.
We didn't.
We did just go to the courthouse and actually got married. But the funny thing is that when we actually went to the courthouse to go get married, the courthouse that we went to did not have an officiant.
No.
And they didn't have someone to actually marry us.
At all.
So
we was like, what?
The clerk at the court office pretty much gave us a list of officiants that we could call, or we could have went to a whole nother courthouse.
Which we did, because going to the courthouse alone I hate going to the courthouse.
I hate just going. It makes me feel like
It makes me feel like I'm going to court to pay a fine.
Yeah, like
I don't like paying fines. I hate going to
it.
court and paying fines.
I hate it.
So we actually called one of them, and they came to our home.
Yes.
Which was the good thing about it, that we actually got married in our home.
In our home, in front of our Christmas tree.
It was, yes, it was in front of the Christmas
It
tree.
was.
But the Christmas tree was over there at the time.
It was
This is a new spot. We just put it at this year. But yeah, we got married in the house, and it was December 2nd?
December 2nd, 2000.
16?
17.
17. So now we've been married for 2 years.
2 years.
which is
And some change.
so okay. So when we got married, of course things changed because being a girlfriend, then being my fiance, to being my wife, it's not the same as you being a couple.
No.
Everything changed like crazy. Now we're married. We have a foundation. We have kids. We have goals that we're trying to set and things that we're trying to do and certain places we're trying to be in life at a certain period of time of our life.
Right.
So when we first got married, of course we was, oh man, we married, blase blase, yay. But then we didn't get like, it wasn't rocky, but we was still trying to understand marriage
Yes.
because we were so used to being engaged.
Yeah.
So being engaged and being married is not the same. So as us being married the first year, we was pretty much growing into our marriage.
Yeah.
So we got to learn different things and a lot of arguments we had, we couldn't just brush it off like we did when we was boyfriend and girlfriend or like when we was engaged, because if we argue and we leave it alone, it's gonna turn into something else.
Right. It's never gonna get resolved.
No. So we had to actually learn how to sit down and have a conversation
And
to relieve the situation. Like she said, communicate. Because if we don't, it'll turn into something else, and then
And it'll just make it bigger.
yeah,
than what it is.
and then we'll pretty much be like, oh, I want a divorce, so I want a divorce too.
My grandma always, we call her Sweet Mom, and she's deceased, right? She's deceased, so rest in peace to her. But she used to always tell me that if I was to ever get married, if me and my husband was to argue, to always pretty much resolve it and talk it out before you both go to bed and lay your heads down at night. So I try to incorporate that with us because, I mean, and it's true. Like, nobody wants to go to bed mad because you're going to wake up with it still in your mind. Like, it just doesn't work. So I've been really, like, on it with him with, like, if we do get into an argument and, you know what I'm saying, it's that night to pretty much just talk it out, communicate before we actually go to bed, because I don't want to go to bed with it on my mind and then wake up and then I'm mad still. So that's a lot of energy, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got time for that.
And then I get stuck in my ways sometimes that if we get into it, I be at the point like I'm not trying to hear it. We already argue, it ain't nothing to talk about.
Yeah, he shuts down.
Completely.
Down.
But I'm still working on that, you know what I'm saying? Like nowadays I would, if we get into an argument, sometimes I'll come to her and be like, this is why X, Y, and Z, this is why this happened, we need to talk about it, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to be the cause of, I don't have my family anymore because I want to be stuck in my ways. I'm still working on myself as far as that, you know what I'm saying? And I can honestly say I am getting better at that because my family is everything to me. I love my kids, I love my wife, I don't want anything else but what I got going on right now. So I'm not trying to jeopardize none of it, so.
Yeah, and I have my ways too of, I don't want to say be in control, but I have my ways of, like, I guess being demanding as to when it comes to certain stuff. So that's something that I'm working on in our marriage as well, because, you know what I'm saying, I may be like, we need to, you know what I'm saying, do this, and it's like, I shouldn't be that type of way. I should come to him and just be like, hey, this is something that we should do, how do you feel about it? And I guess I'm that way because before he came along, like, I was always, like, independent myself. Like, I always did everything on my own. So to have to break that and, you know, become reliant on him and...
Well, not necessarily relying
Well, not
on
relying,
him,
but you know
just
what I'm
knowing that you're not by yourself.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's always somebody, which is me, is going to be there to pick you up when you fall.
Right.
Just like if I feel like something going on with me or if I got an issue with somebody or anybody in my family, I can come to my wife and tell her about it and she'll make me feel better about the situation. So she had to get used to actually having somebody in her life that really care about her because she wasn't used to that. She wasn't used to somebody caring for her. And I was giving her something that she wanted, but she just wasn't used to having it.
Right. Right.
But now she understands and she gets it and it's not a problem because she know I'm always be there for her no matter what.
This is true. I'm crying. But after, you know, after being married for a year, we kind of pretty much realize how serious marriage really is. I mean, we already knew that marriage was serious, but you know what I'm saying, to walk through it every single day as husband and wife, and now we have kids and more responsibilities on top of the responsibilities that we already had. Like,
Yup.
you know, it can get a little, you know, a little crazy. But
It can, but being married is not easy.
it's not.
Having kids is not easy. Especially having your first child is not easy because you're learning how to be a parent.
Right.
We did that with Scott, so once we had Caden, we already knew what to do. It was like, it was a breeze.
Yeah.
So
Yes, it was.
everything was a learning process with us. Just like being married was our first time being married.
Right.
So our first year, we was learning a lot of things, going through a lot of things, and then we accomplished, okay, now we know how I feel to be married.
Right.
So it's like now where we at today, everything's good. All we trying to do is just better.
Ray be like,
better.
all the mashed potatoes.
All we trying to do is better ourselves to make sure our kids does not have to need or want for anything.
No. So we're definitely on the same page with that. But I will say that for those who are anticipating on getting married or who wants to get married, just look at all your options, weigh all your options, make sure it's something that you really want to do, because once you do it, you cannot go back.
You can go back,
you can
but
go
it's
back.
a process. You don't want to be that person that gets married and divorced.
Right. It is a process. And who wants to go through that divorce? You know, with someone that they love and, you know, just work it out. You know.
So if you trying to marry somebody that you've been with for a long time, just make sure that's something that you really want to do. Because you gotta also think that she's taking your last name. So, you know what I'm saying? Y'all together.
Yeah.
It's not just you, it's both of you.
No, it's a partnership once you get married. It's not about you anymore. You have to take into consideration your husband. Your husband has to take into consideration his wife as well as the kids.
Yeah, and another thing, everything is equal.
Yes.
Like,
There is no I.
there's no I, it's we,
Us.
us,
Ow.
ours. Just like if I got something to drink in the refrigerator, it's not just mine, it's hers too.
Mine too. Oh, and them chips.
Nah, I don't know about the chips. That's one thing. Nah, chips is mine.
No, they're ours.
They're my chips.
But marriage is fun. It has its happy moments as well. We don't want to make it seem like it's all bad, because it's
No,
not.
you just gotta
you
keep
know.
the spark in your relationship. Don't let you being a parent and you being married your main focus, because if you don't, you're gonna get lost, and
Yeah.
then y'all gonna get lost together,
Really, really quickly.
and then y'all gonna push away from each other, and then it may turn into a divorce. You gotta make time for each other. Even though you go to work, you come home, you cook and clean, make sure your kids is good. Before anything, you still gotta remember, if it wasn't for y'all two, none of this be going on.
That is true.
So you have to make time for one another, because if you don't, it'll be all bad.
And that's what we're still trying to do, being that we just had Caden. Like, well, not just had, but I mean, you know, that we had Caden. It's like we're trying to make sure that that spark is still in our marriage. Make sure that we still have our alone time with each other, because we tend to get lost in our kids and just put. I mean, you're always supposed to put your kids first, no matter what. And that's what we do. And we tend to just make sure that they're good, and then we tend to just, you know what I'm saying, just miss out on us. You know.
Yep.
So
we start making time for each other. At least
Yeah.
like twice a month, we do things with each other without the kids. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you gonna come back to your kids, but you still just need that time to yourself, because that's where it all started.
to reprocess, to regroup, to rethink. Like,
And you gotta still have fun too, because if you don't make sure y'all good, y'all have fun with each other, then your relationship is gonna go downhill. Y'all gonna get tired of each other. Y'all gonna get bored of each other. Y'all gonna argue all the time.
Who
You
wants that?
You don't want to argue. An argument can turn into regrets in a split second. You can say something that you ain't mean, even though you ain't mean it, can hurt that person's feelings for a week, 2 weeks. It can destroy them, their self-esteem, all types of stuff.
Yeah. You don't want to go down that road. No. I mean, be happy, be honest and truthful in your marriage, be faithful, communicate.
Yeah, that's
Communicate.
communication is the key.
We learned that the hard way. Communication is the key. I I mean, thank God, knock on wood, that we have not had to do counseling, even though I've suggested it many a time.
To that point, but I told her that we don't need counseling because I feel like we can overcome our own problems ourselves if we actually sit down and talk about it.
And we did, so it made sense to not spend money to go see a counselor and to just really sit down and get to the root of the problem to try to fix it, make it better so that we don't have to stumble across the same issues again. So you just have to communicate. I know some people out there may be stubborn in their relationship. Trust and believe. He's stubborn. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. It still hurt?
No. It's you touching it.
I can touch you.
It's fresh still.
You're mine. I can touch you.
I still have a fresh twist.
I don't care.
Touching all on my head. You crazy?
He hates for me to touch his face, hair, whatever. But he wants to touch on me when he wants to touch on me. Like, it doesn't work that way. This is what I deal with in this marriage. What can I say?
Anywho, but if y'all have any questions y'all want to ask us, you know what I'm saying?
Drop them down below in the comments and we will answer them, okay?
Y'all can drop them in the comment section or y'all can DM us on our Instagram. It's _the island. And we will answer back to you guys
as soon as possible.
And since you're already watching this video, like, comment, and subscribe. And hit that notification bell so you will be notified when we drop another banger. Stop. Can y'all please tell her to stop doing that, please? Tell that it's playing out. Like,
all my dabbers out there.
Who's still dabbing? It's gotta be 2020.
Keep doing what y'all doing.
Oh my God, yo. Oh, I'm done.
I know how to get them, y'all.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Bye, y'all. Babe.
Nah, do it together.
Oh, that's what I was saying, man. Is that a heart?
Yeah.
You like it?
Nah, you got a kiss.
Really?
Yeah.
And a kiss on it? Babe, make sure it's straight.
It is straight, man. Look.
Shaking,
I know. Come try here and do it.
Really? Trying to go for the juggler.